Hey, it cooks real quick. Keep an eye on it and let me know how it goes.
All right, man, I'll let you know how it turns out.
All right, brother.
That was my brother Vance. He was just reminding me how to make his recipe, Oh My Cod. So let's get in the kitchen, even though we're already there, and let's do it. My name's Jason. I'm an actor and a comedian, which means I've worked in the restaurant business for over 20 years to be exact, from fine dining to coffee shops. Man, I've done it all. And through the years, I've learned a lot of cool culinary tips and tricks. And I've also come to realize two very important things. Nothing beats home-cooked meals and family recipes. And the only thing I love more than eating good food is making it. Just remember, I'm not a chef. I just play one on TV. Hey everybody, today we're gonna cook some seafood. This is my brother's recipe and it's so good it'll make you say, oh my cod. I have a yellow pepper, 1 cup of rice, asparagus, carrots, portobello mushroom, celery, yellow onion, 1 pound of cod, and shrimp. It's all gonna take place in one frying pan on the stove, except for the rice, of course. It cooks really quick. We got a bunch of vegetables laid out here. You don't have to put all of these in. You could put less if you want. You're gonna season it with some Greek seasoning that you can find at your local grocery store. But the first step, which is gonna take the longest, is the rice. So let's go ahead and get over to the stove and get the rice going. All right, so I have a cup of rice and I already got 2 cups of water boiling in this pot. That's the ratio, 2 to 1 when you're cooking regular rice. So I'm gonna take the top off, gonna add my rice, give it a little shake. Now I'm gonna cover it back up and reduce the heat to a simmer. I'm gonna take it down to a 3, somewhere between a 3 and a 2 on the dial. Now the rice is gonna cook for almost 20 minutes. You just kinda have to keep an eye on it. Basically what's gonna happen though is right before you think it's done, you're gonna turn it off, fluff it with a fork, and then put the lid back on. That'll allow it to steam to perfection in the last few seconds. All right, now that we got the rice on, it's time to get cracking over here. Now what's gonna happen is I'm gonna clean these vegetables and then I'm gonna chop them all up into big pieces. Now remember, this dish cooks really quick. I'm making big pieces because I still want them to have a little bit of crunch when it's done. And the other reason for cutting the vegetables in big pieces is because they're actually acting as a bed to lay the seafood on so that it actually steams on top of the vegetables. So let's clean these up and get them in a pan. So my chickens eat very well around here. I love to cook with vegetables, and there's always some scraps to go for them, which is nice and fair because they give me good eggs. The onions are the only vegetable I'm gonna cut small because I kinda want them to caramelize a little bit. Cut the top of the pepper off, look at that, came off real nice. Like an Aztec priest, pull the middle of it right out. You can figure out what part of the asparagus you want to eat by snapping it. So you just kind of hold it, break it, wherever it breaks, that's the part to discard. Sometimes I'm glad I don't have really sharp knives because if I did, I'm sure I wouldn't have all the fingers on my hand. All right, so these are all the vegetables chopped and I'm looking at these vegetables and I'm looking at my pan and I'm thinking, we're gonna need a bigger pan. Fortunately, I have one. So let's go over there, swap them out, and get this going. Plus, the rice is almost ready to come off. All right, the rice is done. You can tell because it's done. You can also tell because if you hold it to the side, there's no water coming out. So I like to take my fork and stir it around a little bit, and then cover it. Take it off the hot spot of the oven, and it'll steam up just right. Ba-bam! Look at that thing. Oh, that wasn't noisy at all. So how'd you get all my pots and pans from Restaurant Supply Store? You can spend a lot of money on like Williams-Sonoma, which I probably shouldn't say, but now they won't sponsor me. No matter where I've ever worked in the restaurant business, from fine dining to regular cafes, they're all cooking on this type of stuff. We've turned on the eye. We got it going here. We're gonna let it get a little hot. We're gonna add some olive oil and some butter. Once that's in, we're gonna add the vegetables and a little bit of the Greek seasoning. About that much. That was about that much. Butter here, we're gonna put about, I don't know, let's call it 2 tablespoons. You put the oil and the butter in the pan because the oil keeps the butter from burning. Get myself a wooden spoon. Let it start to go. All right, now remember, this is gonna cook quick, but you don't want it to cook too quick. So even though I've got it on high right now, I'm gonna turn it down to like a medium-high heat. You can hear the butter starting to go. I'd say that's my cue. Oh yeah. Now we're gonna hit them with some Greek seasoning, right? Just a little, not too much. If you never flipped vegetables in a pan before, you should try. You're always gonna lose a couple, and it's worth giving it a shot. You feel real chefy. So everything's going in there. I can hear it cooking. And like I said, it's gonna cook real fast, so I think it's about time to add our seafood. All right, so here we got it. We got our cod and our shrimp. Again, I got a pound of cod and about a pound of shrimp. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna hit these again with a little Greek seasoning. All right, now I'm gonna lay it on top of all the vegetables. First the cod. Now the shrimp. Look at that, it's beautiful. And it hadn't even cooked yet. So now, we hear the pan getting hot. Okay, perfect. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna cover the pan, okay? So I'm gonna reach down here and grab a top. This is the perfect top for covering this pan, as well as for battling something, because it's basically a shield. All right, so we're gonna go put it on here. So now I'm gonna drop it down to like a 3. Can you hear it? It's still going. So now I'm just gonna let it do its thing. We're gonna let it cook in here. I can still hear it cooking. It's dropped down to a 3. It's just gonna steam in there, and we're gonna check it in just a minute. You're gonna know it's done because the shrimp will be finished. They'll look pink and perfect, and the cod will start to flake apart into these nice looking little medallions of fish. So don't go too far, and check it in just a second. All right. No, I'm gonna check it in a second. This is gonna be so good, guys. Can you smell it yet? You guys, no one's gonna think you're in here if no one answers me when I ask you a question. Oh, thank you, thank you.
we never talk.
I know, you're not supposed to talk on set, I know. We got like 2 minutes, minute and 45 seconds before we check it for the first time, all right? And it's probably be close to done. You don't have to cook as much food as I just cooked. I'm basically cooked that much because I got a crew here to feed. But I mean, seriously, you can pare this down as much as you want. And obviously, if you have less food, it's just gonna take less time to cook. All right, let's take a peek, huh? Oh, it's starting to get there. Look at the shrimp. They're pretty perfect. And if you look at the fish, you can see it's starting to flake away a little bit. So we're gonna give it a little bit more time, just a little bit. And then it'll be ready to eat. Then we'll plate this bad boy up and eat. This is a quick recipe. This one comes together really fast. All right, I think it's ready. It's been about 12, 14 minutes, a little bit longer than I thought, but that's because we had such a big piece of fish. Oh yeah, look at it flaking apart. Nice big medallions. Let's try a little bit just to see. That's what it's all about. Now this is how I'd serve it. I get a plate, take some of this rice. Oh, look at it sticking together, clumping just the way you want it. Remember the clumps. Got a little bit of rice on here, get a spoon. Get some of these vegetables. See the good sauce in the bottom of the pan. Take a little bit of this fish, put it on there. Get fancy, wipe the plate a little bit. Ba-bam. All right, now all we gotta do is taste it. Oh, look at that, all the colors. See how it is. Get a little rice, a couple vegetables, piece of fish. Oh my God. I'm sure you saw that coming. Well, this turned out perfect. I'm gonna have to call my brother and tell him how good it is, or great, or whatever other cooking show adjective you want to use. And I hope that if you make this at home, you enjoy it as much as I do. And remember, as always, I'm not a chef. I just play one on TV. Guys, this is really good. Killer. Come and have some, please. There's so much.